And it's time for our local business review. We've got Wendy and Barry, our regular panel members here with us today, and a very special guest named Allison Campa. She's a business consultant for Pro Resources, grew up in Watertown, South Dakota, attended the University of South Dakota in Vermilion, and then she moved to St. Cloud 8 years ago. She worked in radio as a marketing consultant. After that, she did leave to start her own new career at Pro Resources, and now she and her husband, Michael Campa, have two giant golden doodles. Rufus, is it Rufus and Murphy?
Yep.
That's beautiful. And you're expecting a baby in October. I'm going to hope it's going to be my birthday. So I'm going to send the powers to the universe so it's on my day.
What's your birthday?
No, the second.
Oh, okay. Well, that
October
would be good.
2nd.
That
Would that
means
be good?
He'd be early. Yeah.
Right?
So I would take that.
All my babies were 2 weeks late. But that's just me. Not you, Allison. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Wendy, thank you for being here.
Yes, good morning. It's nice to have Barry back. We missed you.
Well, thank you. As a matter of fact, I was at the Back to the 50s car show, which is my annual ritual, and it was so nice to be cruising through there and people talking about the Kelly Course program and how good they like the business thing. So I go, we'll take that one.
We'll take that.
We'll take that.
People
We'll
are
run with
talking
that.
about it. We will take that for sure.
Well, you know, I met Allison, and of course, Wendy's always talking about there's always a connection. There's always a connection. She's so enthusiastic. So I go, Campa. I go, I said, you wouldn't happen to know Don Campa? And she said, oh, my gosh, that was my husband's grandfather. And I go, well, Don, known as Buzz, back in another life, we used to be formidable but friendly competitors when he represented American Linen Company in St. Cloud, and I represented Leaf Services. So there is always a connection.
There's always a connection.
Yep.
I love it. Well, I want to hear a little bit about what you're doing. What is Pro Resources?
Yeah. So Pro Resources is a PEO. We are out of Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, with another office in Fargo. They've been around for 30 years. So what we do is we partner with small to mid-sized businesses, and we essentially take on all of their administrative HR tasks.
Wow, that's a big job.
Yeah.
That's a huge job, taking up those kind of things. So how
Yep.
big of a staff do you have to help with these things?
We have about a staff of 40 in Detroit Lakes, and then another 6 about in Fargo. So, yeah, we have about 400 clients that we work with, mostly in the Midwest, it's been really fun.
Yeah.
I've been with the company about a year now, so.
Okay, so now tell me, what is the benefit of a business like that, not just hiring their own HR people? What's the benefit of hiring like a Pro Resources to do all their HR work? Yeah,
so actually a lot of our clients do have an HR professional that works on their team.
Okay.
It's about 50-50 that do and don't. But what we found is even if they do have an HR professional, those people are so burnt out. They're responsible for so many different tasks. And after COVID, there's just been even more put on them. They end up acting as cheerleaders and therapists and, trying to figure out this whole work remote thing. So we can support those professionals, or if it's a smaller company, there's definitely profitability that comes with working with us versus hiring someone, because we take on so many different roles. So our clients are given an expert in different areas that they're working with. So payroll, HR, risk management, benefits, and culture. And so they get basically all 5 of those experts and for the price of our service. So
wow, that's a big deal.
That is incredible because when you own a business, you wear so many hats, and that's a big piece, and there's so many
Well, like you
things
said,
to keep up with.
Yeah, and you have to make sure things are done correctly. There's a lot of laws and stuff. If you don't have that HR background, you may not even know what you're supposed to do. As a business person, you might have, like we always talk about this, people have the passion for their business.
Yeah.
Maybe you like to sew and you have a clothing business and you're making clothing, but you might not know anything about the HR side of things and hiring people and what it takes to make sure that you're doing everything right for them properly, right?
Yeah, we work a lot with new businesses that are just getting started, and they don't even know where to begin to hire their first 1 or 2 employees. And so when they partner with us, we help them with the whole gamut of onboarding and understanding the compliance. And so they know from the get-go they're doing it correctly, and it makes it really easy then to continue to grow and hire, and they can focus on their business and not the logistics and the administrative piece of
So
of
you
what
just
comes with that.
you just figure out like how much it's going to cost for your company to work with them based on I'm assuming a few different factors, right?
Yep.
Size of their company, or as they're growing, maybe you need more staff, and then the price increases. Like a monthly thing or a yearly budget that you have set.
Yeah, we basically charge as a percentage against the gross payroll, and that percentage is determined based on a number of factors that we get. We gather different information and put that together.
Wow.
So it helps great, for projecting too, because you know exactly how much a new hire is going to cost you because it's all built in. So.
Barry, is this the kind of stuff you talk to with people about SBDC when they're talking about starting a new business too? Because I think about all this. I always think, how much fun it would be to open up a store up here next to the Caribou Coffee, right?
Yeah, right.
I always want to have Kelly's Cupcake Shop, which is terrible for me because I would gain 500 pounds. But I think, how fun! I want to bake all day. And I talk to Alicia here. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't even know how to do that stuff.
This is what piqued my interest in getting to know more about Allison, the services. I think I've said before in the program that I remember when I used to tell people years back, you need to learn to do your own payroll. Now you have to outsource that. Payroll has gotten so complex. And just exactly what you said in human, human resources person, you can have a person, but the whole hiring process and staying on top of everything, I think it's definitely worth exploring because I was just talking to a small business owner this morning that circled back on the phone. I knew she'd be back, called me, wants to see me in July. He's been in business for about 9 months, been on this program, says, we've got to go back and review some of the numbers and things and read, the last half of the year. But, that individual's doing fine. But I was very impressed because you almost have kind of like what you explained to me. It's kind of like going through a a la carte type menu where you can go and I need assistance with this or with that. And you can pick and choose. Am I correct on that, Allison?
Well, when we partner with our clients, you get all of our services. So you don't have to necessarily pick and choose, but you can utilize what makes more sense for your company. So
And you guys probably give them advice on that, right?
Yeah,
Like, hey,
yeah.
we think you're going to need more of this.
Yeah, so
versus-
some businesses really want an HR professional to come in and help with annual reviews or help with employee surveys and onboarding. And some of them are looking more for a resource with safety. They want someone to come in and help safety train and reduce some of that risk. So you receive all the services. You just kind of get to choose what is most important for you to use.
Do you also help businesses find employees?
Well, we're not a staffing agency, so I run into that a lot here. Immediately, that's what everyone thinks that we do. But
sure.
Our overall goal is to help you attract and retain your employees through having a really great workplace culture, having really great benefits, that sort of thing. But we do help with job descriptions and advise employers on where they can post and are they hiring the right position and that sort of thing. So,
What about the tax route? Do you help them with any of that kind of thing? Or you just say, nope, go to your tax professionals. We're not messing with that. We just have everything in order for you.
yeah, as far as payroll, we take on all of the tax administration as well.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
And I've said this before, and I just had an incident last week where, starting a business is scary, but hiring that first employee can be scary. And I had a client call me that hired their first employee and it wasn't working out and wasn't going to terminate the employee. The employee self-terminated, but needed a little bit of guidance on just what do I say and how do I do this? So besides being a client, personal friend, we just threw some things together to guide him through the path and gave him kind of it was kind of like HR 101.
Yep.
But that's the type of services that people have to realize that you offer in more of at a different level.
Right.
Which is, you're going to run into it more and more. Business keeps getting more complex.
Yeah. I think about Agency North Real Estate over at Sartell. So I never understand how real estate works. So like you guys are independent but under one roof kind of thing, or are you all a like one entity, like you work for the company, or are you
No,
independent?
it's all like running our own business. So
Yeah.
actually I run everything through my business, Hendricks Marketing. And when you talk about payroll, I'm only my business has one employee, me, but
Yeah.
I'm on payroll. So I think a lot of times people think you have to be a larger business to have payroll, but most even solopreneurs can benefit from being on payroll tax wise.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yes, a lot of real estate agents operate. It's kind of like your own business under a broker, and our broker.
Got it. Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. I just wasn't sure. So that's why I'm like, when I look at the services, I'm sorry I called you Alicia, because Alicia helps us with things.
no
Allison, when you're trying to figure out how to help, what are the typical sizes of businesses that you work with? I mean, does it go anywhere from 2 or 3 people, or is it like a 30-person business up to thousands?
Yep. So I would say anywhere from beginning 2 to 3 employees, and then up to 300 employees. Once you get it past a certain number, they're most likely going to have a pretty robust HR infrastructure that has the support that it needs. But that honey hole is really that under 100 employees where they might not have, where, like you said, Wendy, they're wearing a lot of hats. There's someone who kind of does payroll, but they also kind of do finance, and it just gets to be a lot.
It's just such a neat niche that you do this. And you have all these people so when somebody comes in and you have a new business, do you guys assign just certain people to the business, or does everybody work on the projects and say, we're going to take care of this part, you guys take care of that part? And it's like the team goes to work for the company that you're working with.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just signed on a new client here in St. Cloud, and they first meet with a client account manager who helps them get everything set up. And then they are assigned, like I said, a specific payroll tech who's going to help them every time they run their payroll.
Oh, wow.
And a specific HR consultant that would sit down and say, first, let's set up your employee handbook. And then what else do you want to focus on? What else do we need to look here? Same with benefits, same with safety. So you're assigned a specific person in each of those areas.
Wow.
So it's not just a helpline that you call and hope someone gets back to you.
Yeah.
And I like that, we talked last week about real estate and how it's been a seller's market. And, I compared that to with employers now. It's like an employee's market. So the more that owners can make their employees happy, I mean, we're seeing a real emphasis now on benefits and perks, and and each person is different. It's like we were talking, it's not always about money,
right?
Maybe it's like we said, bring your dog to work, or half day Fridays or casual Fridays. That was the thing now, but now, or offering them the option to be hybrid or remote, or to keep the employees, because there is such a shortage now in businesses trying to find employees, as we know. Just this week, in commercial real estate, I met with 2 clients that their business is doing really well, but they're struggling to find the staff, and that's all over. So if you can keep your staff,
right,
that's the key.
And so being flexible, I think, is so important for business owners. I know I have a friend in South Dakota who her job's refusing to let her work remotely, even though she did it successfully for a year. And she's looking at other jobs, and she's going to be hard to replace, to find someone who's got that experience. And so if, obviously not everyone has the flexibility to do that, to let business employees work from home. But I think if business owners aren't looking at it and addressing it, they're going to lose employees and have a hard time finding new ones too.
Do you think, like, through the pandemic, that really helped with what you do for people? Because you guys, I'm assuming you work remotely, but you're connected. I mean, through Zoom meetings or something, like, hey, I need help with this. I need to see a computer, and you can see the screen at the same time or whatever if they need it.
Yep, absolutely. So we do a lot of virtual service, but we also pride ourselves for in-person as well. Our employees travel all over the state to do in-person trainings and have those types of meetings too. So.
That's incredible.
Yep. Yeah.
So what about you guys? Are you looking for staff members? Are you also like the rest of the world and always looking, or you guys pretty much have the staff that you need? Because that's an awesome place to be if you do.
Yeah. We've been continuously growing. So here in St. Cloud, I would say in the next 6 months, we'll be looking for some more staff members. And it's an exciting time to be in the industry. So.
And how long did you say you've been doing that?
Just about a year here in July.
And really enjoyed it. Do you have a favorite thing about this company?
Oh, I have a lot of favorite things. I think the job specifically, I just love networking and getting out in the community and building this brand in St. Cloud.
Yeah.
And the company is family owned, Minnesota owned.
Wonderful.
I
We
really
love
like
that.
that too. I've only worked for those kind of companies, and I really like it. So
That's really awesome.
So Barry, tell us, this reminds me of something Barry has told me time and time again. Time, people, money. Time, people, money.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that, about how important it is as a business owner to spend your time doing the things that are producing revenue and not, look at what this takes off of a plate for a business owner.
Well, exactly. The example I used last week, it was a time interruption because the person goes like, I don't have experience with this. And what they do naturally, very good at, I go like, do this all the time. I have done this all the time. And I think that's the power of going, trying to learn it as you go, especially for small businesses. Is it a good investment? Can I afford to go and take this on, and the stress? Right. They eliminate that.
Yeah,
and it's done legally, and they have the responsibility to provide the service professionally and legally.
It also provides a neutral, kind of like a third party, because when you own a business, your employees can become friends, almost like family. So you have that neutral, third party to give you sometimes things you don't always want to hear.
Right.
Allison, if people want to learn more about Pro Resources, where would they go?
They can go to proresourceshr.com. That's our website, or check out blog.proresourceshr.com. We've got some really great blog content on there as well.